tonight. From SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Out come the Titans for their first possession, led by Ryan Tannehill in his 10th NFL season and third with Tennessee.
And I think if you ask most folks to give you their first half MVP, very likely they're going to say it's this man right here. The NFL's leader in touchdown passes to this point in the season. Still 2 months to go. But if he can keep going at the pace he's at, this is going to be a dangerous team come January, and he could very well walk away with the MVP.
On the ground, this is Derrick Henry. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry. The numbers on the ground for Henry last week. 2 trips to the end zone and well past 100 yards.
And going back and watching the film, we saw every kind of run from him, didn't we? We saw some power, we saw finesse, we saw speed, and what I love the most, he finished each and every run.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Tannehill going to turn and give this to Henry. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40. So, CD, you look at this offense and what they've been able to do. 8-0, perfect through the first 2 months of the year. Second half of the season still to come, we get that. But what kind of a percentage chance do you think that they have of running the table?
I think it's hard to say because history would tell us that the chances aren't good at all. We've seen a lot of good teams get to this point, and then they have that one bad week and takes them out of the running. I'm going to say 25%, and I feel like I'm being generous with that number.
Now a first down throw, Tannehill. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
I think that's how this defense is going to need to play these tight ends. Again, get right up on them and stay physical. And that paid off on that play, helping force that incompletion.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now a handoff to Henry. And he'll be tackled right on the midfield logo. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Tannehill with a play fake to Henry. He'll throw instead. A check down here for Henry.
So when you saw him dump it off to the back, did you think he was going to pick up the first down there?
Well, I knew one thing. It wasn't his primary target. At least it didn't look like it. Turned out to be the play they needed, though. And it's big because it's the opening drive. So converting that 3rd down, keeping the play, not the play, the drive going.
Yeah, it certainly appeared like his downfield targets were covered. Threw a little dump off to his back. And nice effort picking up the first down, though. And you're right. That opening drive, keep those chains moving.
Olivier Vernon brings him down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Meanwhile, Tannehill's throw here into the hands of Jones. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Rams' 34-yard line. A give to Henry. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
I didn't like the look of that play right from the beginning. I thought he should have seen the coverage that was there, tried to force it in. That one, he's fortunate, just fell incomplete.
It's been a pretty long opening drive. This will be play number 11 coming up on 3rd down. They'll fake it. Now Tannehill. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22.
That throw is not going to get them a whole lot, but that really didn't matter, did it? They got what they needed on that throw. Picked up the first down, and I'm going cliche here. Game of inches, partner.
Absolutely. Well, and you talked to me a lot about opening drives, how key those are to set the tone. You kept the drive alive. Third down conversion here's big. A first down carry for Henry. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 42 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
They'll try and run for it with Henry. And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. Derrick Henry, his 19th touchdown now on the season. And the Titans are on the board first on the road here in L.A. Well, first quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
Extra point by McCann, up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Jackson now to return. And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return. Quarterback Matthew Stafford bringing out the L.A. offense. And Stafford, of course, all those years in Detroit and now in his first season with Los Angeles.
And I'll bet right now just one thought in his mind.
Win the game, yeah.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
Now a first down throw, Stafford. And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes. Bud Dupree racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
Bud Dupree was a first-round draft pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers and really blossoming his last few years there, teaming with T.J. Watt to create quite the duo. Dupree had 8 sacks in 2020 before hurting his knee in Week 12, 11.5 in 2019, and signed with Tennessee for 5 years and better than $82 million.
A lot of ground to cover. 2nd and 22. Here's Stafford. They got a man over the middle. It's Woods.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. So on 4th down, here's Johnny Hecker to punt it away. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Derrick Henry and the rest of the Titans offense about ready to roll again. He's been effective so far, over the 40-yard mark here in the second quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football, and they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
Normally, you see 3 tight ends in a formation. You have to think to yourself, this has got to be a run. And I know as a safety, when I saw that, I took an extra step or 2 towards the line of scrimmage. Instead, they threw the ball, and he found one of those tight ends for a very nice pickup.
They'll run on first down. It's Henry. 56 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Henry again on second down. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line.
And Derrick Henry with the ball in his hands, what a sight to behold, because power and speed involved in every touch for him. Coming off another spectacular season with the Titans, he became the first since LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006 and 2007 to win 2 straight rushing titles, and he did it with style too. Just the 8th man to top 2,000 yards and the first since Adrian Peterson in 2012. He has his sights set on another 2,000-yard season.
And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him. I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost, and now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Yeah, you can almost hear the collective gasp on the sideline as he could not come up with that football. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it could be tipped up and picked off.
And no signs of the field goal unit. They're going for it on 4th down. They'll run. It's Henry. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Two minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. Play action, it's Tannehill. Open man, Julio. Touchdown, Tennessee. Julio Jones. His 11th touchdown of the year. And the Titans find a way to stretch their lead.
There's not much that's perfect in football, but that's about as close to it as you're going to get. Score, force a punt, score again.
And I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all reviews coming from the replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds. So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Extra point by McCann, up and good, and that'll make the score 14-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Jackson now to return. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. So the Rams coming back onto the field, their second drive of the game. They're staring at a 2-touchdown deficit, 14-0 the score as they regroup with 1st and 10. Throwing is Stafford. That's caught left side. It's Higbee, the tight end. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. They'll fake it. Now Stafford. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Janoris Jenkins. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
McCann now for the extra point. And it is now 21-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Short kick. One of the up middle take it down. They're going to take this up close to the 40, so really good starting field position. L.A. readies for its next possession. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing...
Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. It's picked up by the Titans. And they're going to bring this one back. A fumble return touchdown for the Titans. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. Oh, and now they're going to fake it.
I know they're not asking me, but I'll give you my opinion anyway. I think it's time to erase that play from the call sheet. I guess they figure with the big lead they can experiment a little bit. But all in all, just go ahead and put that play on ice.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Kicks it on the ground with a squib, taken around the 28. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape, up past the 30. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
On first down, Stafford here. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
It seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their second, as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Stafford. Pressure comes, and the Titans able to bring him down. Jeffrey Simmons make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Here's Johnny Hekker now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taken in at the 22. So we reach halftime here with the visiting Titans taking the lead into intermission. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA. Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the third quarter. The Rams set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail here as we resume play. Kicks it on the ground with a squib, taken around the 28. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Rams offense ready to begin quarter number 3. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you still have to go out and take pride in your work and try and put something together here in the second half.
They'll run on first down with Akers. And he's up over midfield and down into Tennessee territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Back to throw, Stafford. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, the passing windows are just not there, and that's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
And that will be incomplete.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them. That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The Titans offense gears up for their first possession of the second half. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position, backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
Looking deep for Julio. Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. A big connection on that one. 35 yards.
Yes, partner, Julio Jones is just that good. I mean, if it's going to be a type of a jump ball play or a play where you have to go up over people to get it, I like his odds because of his athletic ability and his ability to get up in the air and sky.
Well, his real name is Kentoris Lopez Jones, and Kentoris means gladiator.
Well, that's exactly how he plays. When you look at him, body type, the fury that he plays the game, the passion, he was aptly named.
Now a first down throw complete downfield. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A big play that time through the air. 34 yards.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
On first down, Henry. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did.
Touchdown! That's caught at the 1. Julio Jones. His second touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And this Titans offense continues to pour it on.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go.
Extra point by McCann, up and good.
And the lead will swell by one more. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds.
So really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Stafford going to give this to Akers. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. The former Steeler Bud Dupree in on the tackle.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
Second down, they'll go with Akers again. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Now it's Stafford. They'll set up the screen here to Akers. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. This will wind up a loss on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
The whole idea of the screen pass is to fool the defense in a big way and create a big play.
They weren't fooled.
Not 1 second, not one bit. How about them figuring it out, diagnosing it, and spilling it for lost yardage?
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Now it appears we're going to get whistles and a stop, a man down on the return. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport. The road to be fairly clear by the time we have to leave the booth.
They, of course, will decline the penalty and just take the yardage on the completion.
And this defense, they've got to be beyond frustrated at this point because even when they're grabbing and holding out there, they're still completing passes. If you grab someone, they shouldn't be able to catch it.
Tannehill going to hand to Henry on the option. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 107 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Derrick Henry. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Ram territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Back to throw, Tannehill. A quick throw, but incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Gets this inside the 35-yard line.
This is our time. Our time.
1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. A solid run by Derrick Henry, and here's another 1st and 10. Off play action, Tannehill. He's going deep for Brown. And this is caught inside the 5. And it's a Titans touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now for Ryan Tannehill. And the Titans add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. Tannehill going to throw for it. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know we can sit up here and dance around it a little bit, but going for two in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Stafford on first down.
And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
2nd and 10.
Stafford now to throw. And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
That's into the hands of Akers, complete. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the first down. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th.
We can make this one pretty simple. Blocked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a fourth down?
Here's Johnny Hacker now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. We'll call that a 43-yard punt, 2 on the return, and it'll be Titan football. And now let's discuss Julio Jones. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
137 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game.
Breaks the tackle, now an alley. And he's got Rome. Still fighting for more. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. It's a big run that time by Henry.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Now the first carry for Brian Hill. A strong broken tackle on that one. And then they get him to the ground just shy of the 15. Micah Kaiser was in on the tackle. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. And the busy night for Henry continues. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3. Again, it's Henry. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, they were looking to pick up the first down on 3rd and short. They got a little more than they bargained for, finding the end zone as well.
And oftentimes in short yardage situations, you get a lot of defenders stacked near the line of scrimmage, partner. So if you can get past that first wave, there's usually room to roam, and he found it.
They'll try and run it in with Henry. And he will get into the end zone again, and he seems to have a nose for it as he gets both the touchdown and the two-point conversion. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men.
Yeah, they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line.
The Rams offense now making their way out to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. From the 40 now on 2nd down. Stafford shedding the tackler, and it gives him some room. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. On 1st down at Stafford. Open man is Higbee, the tight end. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break.
Stafford going to give to Akers on the draw. Akers hit. He coughs it up.
And that might be Titan football. It is.
I think it's safe to say they can mark this down as extremely frustrating. Here we are in the 4th quarter, and that last play, that turnover, I think it epitomizes what happened to them all day on offense.
So symbolic, and that's why they're still being shut out. Getting set to go again on offense, we get a peek at Julio Jones now.
Well, partner, it was a slow start, but boy, the numbers here in the 2nd half.
Well, they're kind of telling the story right now, aren't they?
Not only are they telling it, they're shouting it, because now he sees the opportunities that are coming his way, and it doesn't matter whether it's 1 or 100, he's going up and getting the football.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out. Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line.
I know we're in the era of wide-open football, a lot of spread formations, more space, but there's still a spot for power football, and we just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and, you know, late in this game, he wants the football in his hands. He's had a good day. Spins past it. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Boy, missed tackles continuing to plague this defense, and they surrender another big play and a touchdown here.
Yeah, by my count, at least 2 guys had shots at it, maybe even more than that. But this defense, they've looked out of sorts all game long. That was definitely not one of their better efforts right there.
They'll try and run for it with Hill. And, boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more.
Well, I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
And the hands team for the Rams able to secure the football. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
So this one, a Tennessee Titan victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Tennessee, the train just keeps rolling.